Hi.
How are you?
Good, and you? Sorry I'm late. Hi.
Hello.
Which one is Miss Miniac?
I am Mrs.
You are Mrs.
Miniaci.
Miniaci?
How
Nice
are
to
you?
meet
Nice
you.
to meet you.
It's been a while.
Yes.
It's fine. Could never meet.
I'll let you run.
Milan is our secretary, our school secretary.
Okay, great.
She's taking notes. I'm unofficially here because I've been warned unfortunately by the police that I'm not to have an open conversation, but with Ms. Miniaci in the room, I'm more than comfortable.
Okay.
So, Mr. Diaz, finally, I just want to put closure to all of this.
Okay.
Right? So, this is why I'm here today,
Yes.
because we've had, actually, I want to take my phone now just in case I get. Just a moment, I don't want to be disturbed. So I'll leave it here because sometimes I get urgent calls.
I've also been asked to make sure that you understand that there's no recording that is permitted today.
Well, this is something that it should not concern you and me because I am going to tell the truth. I expect you to tell the truth. I did receive a call from the police. So, are you aware of that?
Yes, I'm
Okay.
aware.
Did you advise? Were you an advisor to Ms.
Well,
Bala?
first of all, wait, just a
In
moment,
any way
Mr.
to call the
Diaz.
police
Mr.
on
Diaz.
me?
Mr. Diaz.
Yes.
Mr. Diaz.
Yes.
If you're here
Yes.
to start accusing, all right,
The
I'm
police were
not-
called on me.
okay,
I would
you
like
were
to
called for
Ask the
whatever,
questions.
so this is why, no, you're
Yes.
not gonna be asking the questions, I wanna state why we're here,
Okay.
firstly. So I'm the one who's chairing the meeting, I will let you know when she speaks, when our secretary speaks, and when you speak. That's
Okay.
what we do when we chair meetings, all
Okay.
right? So I'm here to chair. Firstly, I want to tell you the reason why I decided to meet with you.
Yes.
Because it appeared that no matter how many times we had a conversation, no matter how many times I would tell you over and over again, that when a teacher decides or states, I do not feel comfortable to meet with this parent, I wish to meet with this parent with someone else present, they have every right, all right? So let me go back now and tell you the law. The law of how many meetings a teacher is supposed to have with a parent. The only times they're supposed to meet with a parent, but their collective agreement, is when they have parent-teacher meetings, all right?
Yes.
That's law. That's the
Okay.
minimum amount of time. The other type of, let's say, interactions or ensuring that you get all the information is via the report cards, it's through an agenda, it could be done via email. So there's many forms of communication. They don't need to meet with you face to face. The only time they meet face to face is on the days of how many do you have? Two?
We have two parent-teacher interviews.
Two parent-teacher interviews. All right. So those 2 days they need to be there unless, of course, they're sick. And if they're sick, then they will reschedule with a parent at another time. All right.
Okay, but has it ever happened? Like, there's precedent. Precedent counts for law. You talk about the law. Like, I like to keep the conversation on a legal basis. So, is there any precedent? Precedent counts. Is there any precedent where
A teacher refused to meet with a parent, of course.
or had to require the third person?
Of course.
Okay, can you tell me when or what school that was in?
Mr. Diaz?
You're not required to tell me that?
Mr. Diaz,
Yes?
with all due respect, no, this is information I don't need to share
I
with
know,
you.
I know.
All right,
It
because
would
this
be
is
difficult.
confidential.
It would be very difficult.
All right, but just to let you know, and I think that if we can start on us trusting one another, I think that's a good thing, because if we don't trust each other, it's useless us having this meeting. So,
Trust
Okay.
was broken from the first get-go.
no, Mr. Diaz, you did not meet with me.
No, wait.
All right, so,
It started
Mr. Diaz,
way
the meeting
back,
today
March
is with me.
17th.
Mr. Diaz,
Okay.
the meeting today is with me.
Yes,
Okay?
yes.
It's with me. It's with nobody else right now, for now, okay? So, it's so that over the phone, it didn't seem that you understood what I was trying to tell you, and I have a lot of patience. I had surgery, and yet took your phone calls nonetheless. And by the way,
Please,
by the
don't
way,
tell
sir,
mistruths. Please do not tell
no,
any
by the way,
untruths.
and I took,
You're telling an
Because-
untruth right now.
No,
Would you
Mr.
like to
Diaz,
stop and ask me what the untruth
Miss-
is?
Mr. Diaz,
Yes.
may I finish, please? May I finish?
Well,
It
not,
was
not based
my
on an
cho-
untruth.
It was my choice to speak with you.
Can I stop you when an untruth
Mr.
is being
Diaz,
told?
I'm repeating, it was my choice to speak with you. I didn't have to take your phone.
It's an
I-
untruth. The way you rephrased it is also untrue. Would you like to stop for one and ask me what is the untruth?
What is your truth?
Okay. Well, it's not what my truth is, it's what your untruth is. I never called you, you never took my call, okay?
I called you, sir.
Yes, I don't know what your phone number is. It always says unknown.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
It was I who called you because you were
Thank you.
harassing my school.
okay, so,
Okay, that's why I called you.
another false allegation, but let's get one untruth straight at a time. So, I never called you. I don't know what your phone number is.
Of course you never called me,
It
I
always
have to
says-
call you.
It always says unknown. I always made it clear at the beginning of every call that you make to me that I don't want to talk to you because you're on sick leave.
Mhm. Yes,
I-
that's true, that's
I-
totally true.
I called your secretary
Mhm.
on several occasions,
Mhm.
and sometimes there would be an email shortly thereafter coming from you.
Of course.
So in those emails, I'd always say the same thing. I say, you're on sick leave, I don't want to get you
I have all
involved.
your emails here,
Okay,
it's not a
So
problem.
in no way, shape, or form did I take the inappropriate action of disturbing you on your sick leave. Okay?
Mr.
And I
Diaz,
made it clear that I
Mr.
did not
Diaz.
want to talk to you, of course,
Mr.
on your
Diaz,
sick leave.
I know you did, but you must understand that I am a person, I've been working for this board for 38 years, okay?
Yes,
And I take my job very seriously. Whether I'm in a sick leave or not, until I think I'm in a coffin, I will take the calls that I need to take.
I understand.
okay?
Now we're getting to the
So-
truth, okay?
so-
So the untruth was that I
No,
called
you
you for
did
your
not
sick leave.
call.
No, the
No,
police
no,
have
you-
this in the report. The
Mr.
police have this in the report,
Mr.
that I
Diaz.
called you on your
Mr.
sick
D,
leave.
no,
Yes,
Mr.
yes,
Diaz,
they do.
Mr. Diaz, again, let's go back.
Well, it's
When you
untruth.
call my
You're trying
secretary-
to override me when there's an untruth being told.
Excuse-
So I need
Mr.
to be
Diaz, I
established.
did not speak with the police officer, so
Uh,
therefore whomever said that,
Yes,
it's
Ms.
not
Stella
I.
has,
I will not
Okay.
say that, it's
Okay.
not.
it's in the police
Alright.
report. It's
I
in the
wrote
police
the
report.
Police report.
Well, the police
Okay.
report, when she called me, she
I wrote the
said,
police
you
report.
called the director of the school board without
Mr.
naming you,
Diaz,
so I'm assuming
Mr.
you,
Diaz, when
on
you
her sick
call,
leave.
Mr. Diaz, when you call my secretary,
Yes.
okay, you are calling me.
No.
Okay? Yes, because my secretary will then let me know that there is an issue, okay?
Well, it's possible, but
Yeah.
in one of the calls, I specifically said,
Mhm.
I wanted the director of the Western School, Mrs. Madora or something, to handle this case because you told me that was an option, and because Ms. Miyachi is sick.
Mhm.
So I made it clear, that was one of the calls that I made to her. It doesn't mean that because I'm calling her, I want you to take action, clearly, you know.
Well, okay, so this is not, to me, that's neither here or there. I'm saying to you.
It was a
that
false
whether-
information given to the police, that I called you.
Okay,
You know.
well, it's not.
I would
when
like
they-
to go over the other points,
When
that
they,
was false.
when they speak to me, then
Your
I
report.
will clarify what needs to be clarified.
Thank you.
Okay, so, I have not spoken to them yet, so I cannot clarify something that I don't even know exists, all right, for the time being. This is the first I hear of it, but that will be clarified for sure. Because I'm the one, you called my secretary, I called you back. That's what I do,
Yes,
even
yes.
though I'm on a sick leave. That's what I do, that's my
The
choice.
same does not happen
My
with Ms.
choice.
Fella, unfortunately. I called her secretary, but again, I never,
I'm not
call-
talking about Ms. Fellows, just
well, it's
between
in the
you and
police
me.
report, that's
I
why.
do.
I never called Ms. Fella, ever, like in the sense, hello, Ms. Fella, how are you?
No,
Okay,
you don't
you
supposed
don't,
to
never
be a
happened, not
secretary.
once. She called me, okay, I don't
Of
know.
course, that's what we do,
She's
we're
allowed.
trained, we're well
She's-
trained,
She's
right?
allowed, but I'm apparently, I'm not allowed. So anyway, I called her secretary on 2 occasions,
Mhm.
and I said, can Ms. Fella please call me back?
And that's what we do.
She never did, okay, unlike what you just said about yourself. So, I never called her on the phone either. That's the second point in the police report. Okay, no phone calls.
Alright, I think I'm gonna have to go because this is outrageous. I mean, I can't just sit here and listen to this. It should
In the
be-
police report, they'll say, I text message. I never sent her a text message. Never. And on each of these points, the police lady was going, really? Really?
This
Really?
conversation
That's
is,
amazing.
this conversation
I
is not
can't believe
about,
this,
is
you
No,
know?
not
Mr.
about,
Diaz,
Yes.
Mr. Diaz, okay? We're here today not to say, He said that, I said.
No, everything I say can be verified by
Mr.
witnesses.
Diaz.
It's not a he said, she said.
Me-
But
Mr.
those things
Diaz.
I keep out of the
Mr.
conversation.
Diaz,
That is why we have everything in writing.
okay,
Yes.
Mr. Diaz, again, please.
Uh,
You're here today simply so that I could tell you,
Mhm.
all right, that if a school, people in the school feel that it's a constant call, constant harassment, constant begging, constant wanting things that cannot happen, they tell you why, you continuously ignore the why. It all happened because you wanted to meet with this teacher, all right? This was
Well,
the
I
main
want to
concern.
meet with the teacher as a
Alright.
consequence of the inappropriate action taken against my child. I don't want to
Your
meet the teacher
child
for
was
fun.
not inappropriately sanctioned. Again, I'm gonna go back, we went through this over and over again.
It
What
is
I-
the root cause of all of these problems, and
No, I think
probably
that, I
need
think
to
it's
discuss
a
it.
tempest in a teapot, I told you that over the phone. A tempest in a teapot that you created for your son. Your son is doing well. Yes, your child will, like all children, they will go off a little bit, they might do something, and we redress, okay? We tell them, no, this is not appropriate, you do it this way. This is a school where we are morally obligated to ensure that children behave in a proper manner at all times, and when they do not, so they get either a detention, which I don't know, I don't even like the word detention, but what we do in a detention, and I explained that over the phone, or a suspension, I explained that. This is time to reflect. To me, I would call it reflection time more than any other thing, okay? Because I think this is what is annoying you, that what is getting your gout for some, you're just like totally perplexed over this word suspension, which in essence, it was just meant to redress or have the child understand what the child had done. That's all. Reflection
Well,
time.
I mean,
Reflection time. That's it.
I mean, if it's so unimportant, why do you hand them out? Okay,
No,
but the
because
point
we,
is,
no, it's not unimportant.
Okay.
Reflection is important.
okay,
But I don't like the stigma that you put on suspension. To you, suspension, it's the end of the road. It's like, oh my God, this is, like the child has been put in prison for, no, it's a reflection period. It's not a punishment. Because the
Okay.
child needs to reflect on what they did.
my child does not need to reflect on anything. He's not guilty, okay? This is the root of the problem. Would you like to discuss? What's he guilty of? What's he not guilty of? It's not your fault, you're not up to speed on
Oh,
the
No,
sure.
I am totally
You know,
up to speed.
well, would you
Totally
like to
up to
discuss,
speed.
would you like to discuss what he's guilty of? Because I say he's not guilty. And
Ms. Pella, do you mind telling,
what
Telling
he's
us
guilty of,
We had a
what happened?
2-hour meeting a month ago,
Yes,
which
but
was then
for the-
posted on YouTube,
for the
which was the
beneficiary-
reason,
let her
why
finish,
we
please.
went to the police.
Okay, the YouTube video cannot be found
Understand-
by anyone, including the police.
Understand me. This was why I never intended to go to the police. I asked you to please stop. When you decided to post a conversation that I had not given you permission to record, that is when you broke the law.
It's not breaking the law.
It
I
is
told that to
breaking
the
the law.
police, and she agreed with me. She said,
I beg to differ. You broke
are
the
you,
law.
are you able
You did not.
to take it off? I said, I'm able to take it off, yes. We're speaking French. I said, oui, je peux l'enlever, mais je vais pas l'enlever. And then I explained, whatever, and then she said, okay, fine.
Mr.
Yes.
Diaz, how can a school work with you when you take people's conversations, you place them on YouTube?
Okay.
Place them on YouTube. For what?
Big misconception,
For
okay?
what?
It's because the file was too big and I couldn't get it to her in
It was 2 hours long.
in the EMSB network, firewalls, whatever. It was not
Yeah,
transferable.
it
It would block.
reject it.
Yes, so I put it on YouTube as a private video, which, what is your name?
There's no such thing
madam?
as private, and she's not here to be asked questions.
Okay. The police, I asked them to see the police. I said, do a search. You know the name of the school? You know the name of Ms. Pella?
You gave us the link, Mr. Davis, are you kidding?
Yes,
You gave us the link.
but no one can find it.
Regardless, The
No one can
meeting
find
that
it.
I was
It's a
under the
private
impression
video.
today's meeting was for you to meet with Ms. Ford and Mr. Zampini. Are we at the process of doing that?
Yes.
Because if I was here
Yes.
to be interrogated, I would.
No, I don't wanna be
Not
there's no interrogation.
I was interrogated by the police. I think, you
That
know,
is not my,
well, at this
I mean,
point,
if the
false
school- if the
declarations to the
school-
police
if the
is very
school-
serious. I never sent text messages to you or anyone else. That was another claim by the police.
I wrote the report.
It's a false claim.
I wrote the report.
What the police told me on the phone was I
I
sent
wrote it.
text messages.
it's written, it's,
Okay.
I wrote
there's
it.
nothing written about.
Police
text
write their own
messaging.
I wrote it.
reports, okay? I'm gonna go, I'm
It's all
gonna,
here.
uh,
It's all here, and it's all your emails.
I don't want what you wrote, I want what the police,
No, her declaration is.
I'm
The
gonna-
declaration is not my signature on it.
I'm gonna go
Anyhow.
to the police station right now. Can you confirm, the name of the woman? Because,
I'm gonna confirm to you the name of which woman.
the police,
The report.
the police
I
woman
made
who
the
called
report
me,
to
or,
a person who was
anonymous,
at,
right.
a person at the front. I did not make a report, so, but anyhow, I would give you that information anyways, Mr.
no, I'm
Davis.
gonna go get the
Well,
information.
good luck, you're free to do, you're a citizen like everybody
Yes,
else.
yes, yes. And, you know, what's in what was told me on the complaint was, on the phone, was that I sent text messages, and never, you know, okay, so, again, the police
I think,
was very
what
shocked.
is,
Wow, you
Mr.
know?
Diaz, whatever's written in her report with her signature is what is valid. What people say, hear that, whatever they interpret is a different story. She has a police report written out with her signature. That's the only one that is going to stand.
So the final point in the phone call with the police was that I sent all these emails, okay? So let me just touch on that, okay? If I may.
I don't need to know, we're not here in court now. When we go
Give
to
me 30
court.
seconds, it's not gonna
Okay.
take long. The vast majority of those are regular correspondence, what time's the meeting, who's gonna be there, okay? It's not like harassment, okay? What can be construed as harassment are things like, you know, you falsified the document, please give me a copy, things like that. It's not really harassment.
I had told you were on the brink of that.
No,
When I
but-
spoke to you.
But listen to me, $100 has been stolen from me. You stole $100 from me. Hypothetical, okay? Just work with me. Who's gonna send the email? Is it you who's gonna send me an email? Or is it me who's gonna send an email to you? Okay? And how many emails am I gonna send? You know, think of it in that terms. Think of $100. It really touches base.
What
with
you,
people, okay?
what you are
I'm
doing
gonna send a
with
lot of
your-
emails to
what
get my
you're
$100
doing with your-
back.
What you are
Okay?
doing,
This is
instead
normal.
of working with the school.
I'm the person who slighted here, obviously.
You were not slighted.
Okay, can we discuss guilt here? This is the root of all
Alright.
our problems.
Can
We cannot
have
establish
the-
guilt or innocence.
Mr. Diaz, do not speak to me as if you are in command, because you're not, okay? Can we do this, can we not?
I've already proved some
No.
untruths. Have I ever told an untruth? Have I ever told an untruth?
Mr. Diaz.
It's a simple question.
Mr. D, we won't
Have you
be in
told
this.
untruth? Have you told
Mr.
untruth? Yes, I just proved one, and there's,
No,
I have a
Mr.
long
Diaz,
list.
I'm
So,
sorry, you know what you do? You wanna tell,
the
you
question
wanna
of
know
who's
what you
in
do?
command, who's right or who's
Mr.
wrong?
Diaz.
It's- Can we get
Mr.
facts?
Diaz,
Facts? True
Mr.
facts?
Diaz,
Yes.
you know what you do? You take something that just has been said, I haven't even finished my sentence, take it into your own context, and you manipulate it. Now, so,
Untruths
please,
were said, you know,
Mr. Diaz,
I need a confirmation
I
of that.
said-
Has untruths just been
Mr.
spoken?
Diaz,
See, I can't get a straight answer.
Mr. Diaz, I'm not gonna say that I'm not gonna play your game, I'm not here to play games,
I'm here to
okay?
get facts, I'm
All
on
right.
fact finding mission, I've said that from the very beginning, and
Well, you know what,
I'm not
I'm
getting.
going to meet with this teacher now, it'll be the first time, I haven't met with her yet.
Me too, I've never
Okay.
seen her,
Okay,
I've never met
all
her.
right, but I have not met with her on this
Oh, no,
case.
no.
I've never met her, I've never
Mr.
talked to her, no
Diaz,
emails,
I'm gonna warn you.
I don't
I'm
understand
gonna
why
warn
she doesn't wanna
you,
meet with me, is there a precedent for that?
Mr. Diaz,
Yes.
I told you that whether there's a precedent or not,
Mhm.
I am not gonna share that with you,
I
because
know.
that's none of your
Because there's
business.
probably no precedent,
There is,
you know?
you know,
Okay, there
you're a
could,
very,
it could be a case where
Mr.
a guy
Diaz.
came with a gun, I don't know,
Mr.
you know,
Diaz,
yeah, you
I
know.
was a principal
I don't
for
wanna meet
10
with this
years,
guy.
Mr. Diaz.
Okay.
And I had many, in my own schools, where teachers were not comfortable with me, parents, and I was next to them, period. Where the union was present in another situation to meet with them. Because they did not wanna meet with the parents. And you
It's
want me
where-
to give you more than
Well,
that?
if swear words are, said, the insults are
No,
launched.
similar to
I
situations
have
where,
no insults.
where
I have
a
no
parent,
insults.
a parent has blinders on and refuses to see anything else but.
And you don't think
that.
you're that way? My child is not guilty. You don't want to listen.
I wanna listen to the
Okay.
teacher.
That's what I want. That's what I want.
Because she's
I
the
cannot
one
make
who
a
was there.
complaint. Because
Okay,
people say, did you
but-
talk to the teacher? Okay, well, did you verify that with the teacher?
I'm
Did you
here.
talk to the teacher about
The
that?
meeting that
No,
you're
no,
having
no.
today, Mr. Davis, is going to be based on how the child has been progressing since the event, correct? Because that is the impression she's under. You asked to have a meeting with the teacher
Mhm.
regarding his progress, his marks, his behavior, say, for example, things that have happened since that day.
So you're limiting my scope of
Absolutely.
conversation? Yeah.
Absolutely,
You don't want me
of
to
course.
talk about
We're not
the
going
events
to
of
be
March 12th?
rehashing. Absolutely not.
See, she's hiding information.
Hiding information.
Well, yeah, she doesn't want me to talk to the teacher and establish.
Listen, I will ask her one question about March 12th.
Yes,
Okay, I will, and I do not want you to speak, because if you do, I will ask you to leave, and that's it, that's all, and you will never step foot in the school again, because I will make sure you don't. So I'm gonna tell you right now, Mr.
Mhm.
Diaz, that if we're either gonna work together, and this is what I expect, but you already came in already extremely aggressive, okay? You
it's
came
not
in with-
aggressive. There's untruths being hurled. Have I ever told an untruth?
Mr.
I'm
Diaz,
I'm not the one hurling untruths.
Mr. Diaz,
You know,
you know what you do?
That's
You know what
aggressive.
you
Throwing
do?
untruths is
Mr.
aggressive.
Diaz, you are the most persistent and.
Not a
and you-
crime, not a crime.
No, Mr. Diaz, and you do it in a manner that it's called harassment.
It's not harassment.
Yes, it
If
is, sir.
I'm not
It's bullying.
insulting, I'm not
It's
bullying.
bullying,
I'm being
yes.
bullied. I'm being bullied, okay?
I'm
Because
asking you to stop
she's
so I can,
criticizing
I'm
my
asking you to
character.
stop so that I could bring in that teacher. I will, please do not intimidate her, because if you do, I will
I
have
just
to
want
ask
facts.
you to leave.
I just want facts.
There's no facts to be said, the facts were that he was rude that day. It's very simple. Okay.
Which day? This is, we don't know the story. Which day, what?
There were 2 days now.
We probably need to review the case because I know you're not up to speed. Just by the couple of email exchanges we've had, I know.
My
you're
email
not up to-
exchanges were simply so that you would stop
No, but I know you're not up to
the
speed,
slew,
and it's not
the
your fault.
slew
I
of
mean,
the,
you're on sick leave.
of events that occurred, okay? So you would keep on asking the same question over and over. When the teacher had distinctly said that the child had made a remark, said a bad word, the teacher took it as it was towards her. Nonetheless, you say, no, it was towards a friend. I said in one of my emails, whether it was to a friend that he said F or whatever, or to a teacher, to me, in my schools, okay, under the English Montreal School Board, whenever someone uses the word F in a school, is inappropriate. That's what I told you.
Okay, but if
Inappropriate.
it was to the teacher, I want him to be suspended. I do. I
What is
want.
the difference if it was to a child, to another student? What's the difference in school?
The difference is.
No, to me, that's another human being, and I want my students to be treated respectfully.
It's two categories, okay?
Really?
It-
Two class of citizens? No, I don't.
No,
think so.
I mean, come on.
We're human beings.
If I swear to you, okay, and I hope the minute
And
taker
if you
doesn't
would swear
misconstrue
to a
this.
child,
But
I would.
as an example,
no,
okay, if I
Sir,
say,
Mr. Diaz,
if I say, fuck you, Mr. Miniachi, I'm gonna
Yes.
be in big trouble, okay?
Yes.
But if I say to my child, or I don't know, I mean,
really?
I don't,
If you-
but
if you would say
I'm
to
thinking,
another
I'm trying to find an
student, I'm
example.
gonna tell you
If I
something.
say it to a guy in the street,
Mr.
it's
Diaz,
a
in this
difference
school,
for this purpose of this
Mr.
meeting.
Diaz, in this building here, whether you said it to a secretary, you said it to a caretaker, you said it to the principal, you said it to a student, I would treat it equally the same. Because to me, they're all important. No, Mr. Diaz, you don't understand where my values are coming from. Each member in this school, to me, are equally important. I am not more important than anybody else.
The way my child explained it to me is that it wasn't even a mean, fuck that. Okay, he said, fuck that. Like, it was like a manner of speech. And he said, everybody says it. Okay, I know that's not necessarily a justification, but everybody does do that. He just got clapped. And I told him, okay,
Oh, so don't get caught when you want to do something
You know-
wrong.
you know,
Is that what you're telling me?
I told
Don't get caught?
I told
No,
my-
that's a terrible
I
philosophy.
told my child, Yes, but you got caught, you know?
No, that's a
the
terrible,
difference.
that's a terrible
So you're gonna get your
philosophy.
detention. He didn't want the detention. He was adamant. I'm not going to that,
Okay.
detention.
Let's speak to the,
I
to
said, why?
the teacher.
I'm not sure she'll come, but I'm not sure that there's gonna be much discussion about, because I had specifically told her that we were meeting with you, and she was comfortable meeting with you and Mr. Zampini. As long as we're talking about his progress, how many times, he's come to tutorials, his marks, his behavior,
So I'm being
how
restricted in
things.
the scope of the conversation. I can't discuss the basic issues of the.
Your
suspension,
emails to us
letter
were
of suspension.
request, I'm
My
sorry.
God, you're still on that suspension.
I'm
He
trying to
didn't even get
establish
suspended.
guilt or innocent,
He
he's,
didn't even get suspended.
no, it's a letter of suspension,
He didn't get a letter of suspension, he got a letter of warning of
a
suspension,
letter of warning
which
suspension.
was then
A letter
retracted.
of warning.
I'm-
Which
I'm-
you get letter, and then
And then it was
which was retracted.
by the
It was
officer.
retracted, and I thought everything was,
Yeah, and so what's the problem?
was forgiven, and then I asked to meet with the teacher, and it was
But
like,
why did you want to meet with the teacher again, to rehash that again if everything was retracted?
it wasn't to rehash that necessarily, I wanted to know, academic also. okay?
Yeah, well, that's what we're here for.
She
Yes,
was
as
expecting
well,
to speak to
it's
you.
not also, it's not,
Yeah, but you're still
Exclusive.
going back on that when a letter was retracted.
well, I would like to speak about his behavior, because I'm not sure of my case. I'm not sure of my case, okay? I don't know.
Well, I think you're gonna get some recourse because he has been well behaved.
Listen, the reason, okay, the reason why his behavior has improved since the letter of warning of
That was
suspension,
a good thing.
the reason is that I told him,
Well, that's good news.
okay, see, these are the kinds of interventions, like what you just said,
Mhm.
it's good, what you said, it's good.
But it is.
These are the kind of interventions I'm concerned with when I'm having a one-on-one meeting with Ms. Ward. There's gonna be interventions, yeah, that's good, that's good. It's not good, okay? The reason why his behavior has improved is because I specifically sat him down and I said, look,
That's your duty as a father.
we got this letter. We're gonna get it retracted. I believe you, okay? I believe you. We're gonna get it retracted. But I can't do that if you're still doing the minor things, like whispering in class, talking to
Swearing.
Yeah, well, yeah.
To his friends, when she thinks it's not a big deal.
Yes, exactly. And-
Well, I'm sorry.
And the way I
think
explained that to him,
And I would like to meet with your son also.
and the way I explained that to him is, do I swear? Did you ever hear me swear? Like, it's not just here that I'm trying not to swear, okay? I never swear. So, I said, do I ever swear? He goes, no, okay. So why do you swear? Like, as a mode of conversation, just a matter of speech to your friends? He goes, well, they do it. I said, okay, but that's because their parents probably swear. Like, there are a lot of parents that swear. They go, fuck that. They're watching hockey game. By the way,
It's
hockey.
a societal
I
problem.
would just like
that
to
we're
say,
not
just like I
respecting.
mentioned,
I'm not gonna mention that. I don't think you should blame the parents, you don't know,
Okay,
we're not in their house.
but speaking of hockey, I would just like to take 30 seconds as an aside. I'm a hockey coach, okay? So I know how to deal with kids. I know all you people think you're the expert on dealing with kids and parents, but I'm an expert on that, and I'm probably more of an expert than you because it's physical, it's intense. There's swearing, it's fighting, it's a battle. In those heated battles, we need to keep discipline, focus. Parents, my child's playing less than him. It's crazy. And I'm very good at it. Okay, I'm
We all
very,
have our
very
roles to
good
play,
at it.
Mr.
I just wanted to say that 30 seconds
We
aside.
all have
Okay?
our
I just want to make that 30-second aside. Maybe another 10 seconds aside. I refereed a game in your school. Mr. Schifoni was the coach, and I came to watch the final. Big event, right? The final. If they win, they're champions. So I came. I was the only parent there. I thought that was weird, but I'm a concerned parent. Okay. You should actually be happy that you have a parent like me who's so concerned about his child.
I admire all parents who are concerned,
Situation.
but
He
not
show up
when
to his
they,
games. He's protesting a letter of suspension if he thinks it's not valid. You should be grateful for having a parent like that. So anyways, I went to the game, and we're waiting. What's the delay, you know? The referee hasn't showed up. Wow, you know what? How is that possible? You know, the referee doesn't show up? First time, we never heard of this either. You know, we're calling him, he's not coming. I said, well, I coach soccer also. So I said, you know, I know the rules, I coach. So I said, okay, can you referee? Yeah, sure. So I refereed the game. They sent me $35 from the school
So
board.
we thank you
Yeah,
for that.
thank you. So, you know, I'm involved. I know how to deal with kids and parents. Okay.
Mr. Diaz.
So.
I recognize that you
Okay,
have
the aside is
talent,
over.
okay?
The
But
aside is over.
I could also give you a repertoire of all the good things I've done for children. I can give you 38 years worth, okay?
No doubt.
Okay?
Okay.
So, but I'm just telling you
I
that
just wanted to say that
I'm not here to.
Because
to
you think
listen,
I'm not
Mr. Diaz, nobody
aware
thinks.
of issues.
Mr. Diaz, we don't think any of that. You're putting words in our mouth. We don't think any of that.
So anyways, I sat my child down and I said, you know, parents, you know, when you watch hockey, it's fuck that, you know, like this fucking piece of shit. Do I do that? Do I? No. Okay, so their parents do it, their kids do it. Your
You're
father,
assuming that. Not all parents do that.
no, this is how I'm trying to explain to them to stop swearing. So I said, their parents do it, their kids do it. Your parents, I'm assuming his mother doesn't do it, I'm not sure, but, you know, I'm assuming, you know. So anyway, your parents don't do it, you don't do it, okay? And it took a couple of rounds, you know, repeating it, coming around, different angles, and he said, okay, no more swearing. So this is the progress. And the objective was to get the letter retracted. I said, I need your help, okay? I need your help to get this retracted. It's not going to be easy. They're not going to just take it off. So you need to stop anything minor, you know, that could possibly get in the way. So he understood, and now he's very quiet, like a mouse, I think, he tells me, in the class. And I said, we need to show that we're on your side. We're actually on your side. I'm trying to show that we're cooperating here, you know? This is like an olive branch. We're not talking anymore in class. Please retract the letter. Okay, I think it worked because if he was still like talking in class and disturbing and Miss Ward was saying, Abdul, be quiet, Abdul, be quiet. It would have come back to me and said, look, we're not retracting the letter because your child's behavior is the same as before or something.
Can I just interrupt?
It
The letter
could
was
work.
retracted way before your son approved. The letter was
That's right,
retracted
because
by
I
the
asked.
office of the deputy director general,
That's,
Ms.
it was
Miniachi.
myself who retracted it.
Ms.
I
Miniachi
understand
retracted
that.
the letter
I understand that.
and issued your son on
However,
behalf of Mr. Zampini.
however, I did say that if he would misbehave, then it
Right.
would then stand.
That's right.
Okay.
And Mr. Zampini issued him a detention, which he then served,
Yeah.
and thank you very much, this story was over.
So that's why his
Since that
behavior is
day,
improved. That's why his
you know
behavior is
what?
improved.
If it's that, fabulous.
Okay.
Whatever it is, we all want
We're
your son
happy
to
to
succeed.
accept it.
No, but you think it's because of the letter, like we're sorry, we feel bad about the action, and we're trying to make up for it, and we're apologizing.
Mr.
You
Diaz,
know, you're not going to take away the letter if you believe that. So I have to make that crystal clear. You know why he's improved, why his
Mr. Diaz,
behavior has improved.
I inquire on a daily basis how your son is doing, or other children, or other students that we've had difficulty with parents or whatever.
Mhm.
I inquire, and he's been doing well, so I'm very happy about that. So
Okay.
my decision to remove the letter, it was good, and followed by a detention was good, followed by you helping out at home and saying, be good. All of that, it's a community that works together with kids. That's what we do.
It's not because of the letter. It's not because of what you think. Okay, it's not like we're sorry. We're going to correct ourselves. It's not
No, I
because of
said
that.
that you were working with
Okay.
your son
All
at
right.
home, and we work with your son here,
It
or
was
my
to get it
my
retracted.
people
It
do.
was to get
you
it
know.
retracted.
Nonetheless, can maybe meet with the teacher for a few minutes? And I don't want to rehash this anymore, Mr. Diaz, I really don't, because it doesn't serve any purpose, and I feel that the school is really working very hard with your child.
I'm
And
trying to
without
establish guilt, for
disturbance.
instance. It's at the root of any
But to
discussion.
me, if he was
Going around in
guilty,
circles.
if he was guilty, I told you what he was guilty of. He did say what he said to a friend, and he served a detention. That's it, that's all.
No, but they think he's guilty of March 12th activities that are deserving of suspension, and it was retracted by, of course, by you. You stated that clearly, that it was retracted by you and not them. Like they refused to retract it. Still. So this has to
Ms.
be.
Ward, please come to the office, Ms. Ward.
But there is no, what he did, whatever was done determined by that teacher is what that teacher saw that day. You were not there, I was not there, she was not there, we were not there. So the teacher determined on that specific day, whomever determined on that day, that there was something was due to that child.
Yes, but it's false.
Well, to you it's false, to the person who administered it was not false. But however, the child served the detention because that person thought that the F was directed to her person. We later found out that he was directed to her. We then said because of that, whomever you directed to, you see, to me it's not about who it was directed to. The action was wrong. The words were wrong.
But is it deserving of a suspension?
Why not? I'd suspend the kids for using the F word. Why not? Why not?
In a benign conversation to a friend on a first occasion.
Well, we don't know that. You're not there, I'm not there, so I don't know. I mean, that's your son saying,
Okay,
and that's the other
maybe
side.
we can confirm it, you know?
Okay, but this is gotta stop, because it's got to stop. It's got to stop, Mr. Diaz, because I'm not gonna continue this. After this, I don't wanna hear anymore about this conversation. It's over. After today, it's over. I put an X on this, it's closure. It's closure. And I will
I
have to,
want innocence or guilt established and possibly a letter of apology.
letter of apology from whom?
Because he's not guilty.
Says who? You said.
Okay, see, this is what we keep coming back to. We need to discuss that. We need to discuss that. We
He
need to
was
discuss
guilty
that.
of saying whatever word he said that day. To whomever
Okay,
he said.
that's not,
That's the guilty
that's
part
not,
of it.
that's not related to the incident, in question. And I
I
don't.
still wanna know what this other incident is. Mr.
Well, March 12th. Okay, listen to one point. 12 kids were given letters or warning of suspension in one class.
Mhm.
Is that a record? Isn't that like something
They were
like
given a letter of suspension, I don't know, but this is really.
a letter of warning of
This is really
suspension?
going nowhere.
See, I thought-
Why are you speaking of suspension when a child is given a warning, or a group of students are given a warning because they're misbehaving in the class?
I will come back on that question.
There's nothing wrong with that.
She seemed to-
We are allowed to give letters of warning. You the parent, will not tell one of my teachers they can't give a letter of warning.
Okay, I'm
It
just
was the
saying.
teacher, it was me.
It was you, okay, so I'm not gonna tell my principal that.
It was not you, it was the vice principal.
Okay, it was me, I wrote the letter.
Okay, but
Ms. Nicholas was the one who was in the class. Regardless,
A
Yes, the
letter
letter
of
that was
warning,
retracted.
she has
These are all-
every,
those
excuse
are
me,
little,
no,
you know,
sorry, Mr. Diaz, the
Mismanagement.
principal,
mismanagement?
Yes,
sorry,
because you were not even aware of the facts. You know, you were relating things, kept saying, well, that's what the report says, so that's what the report says, so that's what the report says. You know, the
Mr.
letter,
Diaz,
there's nothing written on the
Mr.
letter, it's
Diaz,
just a template.
my principal,
Yes.
my vice principal is allowed to issue letters of warning to the students without you, the parent, telling them they can't.
But
They are here, they are in parentis locus, okay, whereby they are parents during the day. That is given to us by the Education Act. We have that right here, okay? When the parents are not here, we act as the parents. We're not gonna harm children, we're trying to direct them so that they become productive citizens of our society.
Okay,
Okay.
so is the principal the sole authority to issue a letter of warning of suspension?
The
Yes, yes.
The principal will, in her school, I delegated, my vice principal had also the right. She may delegate her vice principal to issue a letter of suspension between the principal and the vice principal. This is a huge school. She has 3 vice principals. Of course, they can also issue letters of suspension. Of course they can.
But the
All,
principal
and the
is
principal, they work together
has
as
to
a
be-
team. It's a team.
verify it and be the
It's a
authority
team
on signing
approach.
it.
Team approach. Always, always.
The principal is the sole authority to authorize a suspension or letter
I'm
of
going to
warning.
repeat again. The only sole, okay, the principal is the boss, of course, in the school,
Mhm.
but the principal can delegate her other vice
Other
principal.
things,
Other.
other responsibilities. But
Including the suspension.
including the
Yes.
suspension.
Yeah.
She has to sign the principal has to sign. It cannot be like signed by the vice principal and given to the parent. So if the principal must sign, and the
That's
vice,
not true. It's just not true.
It's not
Okay.
true.
Our vice
The
principal
vice
signs
principal
that
allowed,
all the
of
time.
course.
That's it.
Of course.
Whether you like it or not, that's just the way it is.
It's
Okay,
not,
so
this is
the-
laws you're making, this is not our laws, by
well,
the way, okay?
the thing that I
Alright.
researched is that the principal has to authorize it.
No,
A
The
It's
vice
suspension?
principal
administration,
signs something.
administration, it's an
Same thing.
administrator, as long as it's an administrator, not a teacher, it has to be an administrator.
An administrator can give a suspension, okay, because they're the same level, warning out or suspension are same.
No, they're not the same,
They're same
sir.
fault. The only thing is it's the first offense, we're letting off easy, you know?
Just closing up the lockers.
It's a warning, that's all it is.
Yeah, but they're, you know, they're same level. So a vice principal can issue a
Of course,
suspension
of
and the
course.
principal not aware of it, not signing it.
If the vice,
No.
if the principal, sir, I'm gonna repeat, if the principal said, you are in charge of these, of this, whatever, okay? She has given authority already to do it.
So the vice principal can issue
Of
a
course they
suspension
can,
without the principal being aware or signing it.
because she trusts her, they're a team.
I
At the end
understand
of
she
the
trusts
week,
her.
at the end of the week, they go over all the suspensions,
So the
and
answer
this
is
is
no.
what we've done, and of course they can. Of course they can issue a suspension,
So the
of course
principal,
they can.
the principal doesn't have to approve of the suspension or sign off on it or
Not if,
authorize it?
not if it's the, Mr., let's say Mr. Zampioni. Mr. Zampioni took care of this, that, I'll go with me. Whenever my vice principal took care of a case, I'm not gonna override that vice principal case and say, this person,
Absolutely, absolutely.
this is a suspension,
So-
here, Ms. Miniachi, these are all the suspensions for the week, I'm not gonna say no,
Absolutely, so
I'm not gonna say
she
no.
has to come to Ms. Miniachi and say, this is what I've done,
Look,
okay.
you're not here to question.
But you're not here to question how we run our schools.
You're not running our school.
Okay,
Okay,
you're
it's
working
administration.
coordination
We
very well.
we work as a team, that's
Yes.
what we work. All
I
the
understand.
principals, vice principal work as a team, that's what you need to understand, it's a team approach. I work with my leaders as a team approach.
Mhm.
Okay, have a seat here,
Yes,
yes,
Ms.
Mr.
Ward. Thank you.
How are you?
Good morning.
Nice
Hello,
to meet
how
you.
are you? Good, good.
Nice to meet
We've
you.
met a few times, actually.
Yes, we have, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Very good. I think we're just here to, to find out how his son is doing. And the other thing is maybe if you can just give me a slight clarification at the end. But let's just do, from which date is that you are seeking?
March 12th, you
March
went to March
12th.
12th, what happened, you know, like
But
basically.
I'm not gonna go there first. Let's start with how is he doing now progressively?
I would say there's been a huge improvement in his classwork, a massive improvement.
Mhm.
He has started to really come into his zone when it came to being creative with the work that he's coming up with, and I'm really impressed with what he's been producing lately.
I told him to be well behaved because there's a big crisis going on and I don't want it to go on and on and on. I want it to stop down and we can resolve the issue. So he's following those orders.
So academically, he's doing well?
There's been a huge improvement.
Okay.
I was
very
getting to
good.
that, it's all related, I wasn't changing the topic. And, okay, I said to him, also your marks have to be very good in that class and all your classes actually, related to this issue. Because I don't want them coming back and saying, look, this letter didn't work, okay? Your kid is still terrible and his marks are suffering. Or the opposite, you know, I don't want them to say, we retracted this letter
Mr.
and
Dieter,
now,
may I say something?
because we
Never
retracted the
once,
letter,
Mr.
his marks are
Dieter,
going down.
Mr.
So
Dieter,
it's all
never-
related.
Mr.
I told
Dieter.
him to go all the tutorials and do very, very well. So I just wanted to tell you that this is the motivation and this is the energy I'm trying to give him to do that.
And he's attended the tutorials?
He's come to a few of them. I've recommended regularly that he attend tutorials.
Mhm.
He's a child that works very creatively, which is, as a visual arts class, lovely to see. But getting working on time is a struggle for him.
Okay, Alright.
So I don't take off marks for late work, as long as it's in by the end of the term, that's it, right?
Okay.
So right now, I'm hounding him for a piece of work that was due 2 weeks ago. So I said,
Oh.
Duke, can you come to tutorials, make sure you get your work in on time?
Mhm.
And he hasn't come to those tutorials, but my nagging eventually does get to him, and
Okay.
he does come to tutorials.
Okay, I'll
May I
follow.
stop on that for a moment, please? So you heard what Ms. Ford said. He has difficulty handling in work on time.
Okay,
So that's very
I'm
important
going
that
to
you- that you really hone in on
Absolutely.
that, okay? As far as academics, therefore, he's trying harder and
The
harder.
quality of his work has
Improved.
gotten much
So
better.
what about his behavior in class? Well,
When in a creative class like that, you have many weeks to work on a specific project, and they require attention, right? It's attention to detail, and if your behavior is poor, there's no way you can focus on what it is you're meant to be doing. It's not possible. So now that his behavior has improved, it's allowed him to focus, and his grades have followed
very good.
in line.
So let's go back in this behavior that was a little bit problematic prior is why we are here, really. What type of behavior was he exhibiting that caused?
To me, the behavior's not an issue anymore, so I'm not
So
sure
it's
why
now-
we're rehashing.
Okay, so I think it's because
well
Mr.
coached, well coached.
Mr.
Well coached by Ms. Fowler, because she
No.
said we don't want to go there,
Mr.
because
Diaz,
we want to
please,
discuss those
Mr.
things.
Diaz, please,
Yes.
all right? All right.
Did Ms. Fowler tell you that you shouldn't go back and talk about those?
No.
Mr.
No?
Mr. Diaz, she's not here to be questioned in that way, okay? I said I'm the one who's chairing, I will ask the questions, all right? So, I think that what she said is that the behavior has improved. Mr. Diaz, listen, we need to
Yes.
focus on what she said.
Yes.
The behavior has improved, which leads me to.
Anything prior should not be discussed, yes.
It leads me to say that prior to this, that all this has happened, actually, this was a good thing that happened because since that incident,
Yes,
your son has improved.
yes,
Okay, so
and I
because
told
he,
you why,
wa-
yes.
no, also because he was, as you said, I'm gonna use your words, he was caught doing something he shouldn't have been caught doing. But as I said, this is not the philosophy we want to teach the child. About don't get caught in what you're gonna do that is naughty.
No, but all
Okay.
his friends and all.
I don't care about his friends,
Talk
we're
that
talking
way,
just,
you know,
I don't wanna
He
know
got
about his
caught,
friends.
you know,
I don't
And-
wanna know about other children.
and I said,
Right
too bad,
now.
you got caught, you,
Mr. Diaz,
okay,
the other
it's a life
student,
lesson.
Mr.
Unfortunately, I know it
I
sounds bad,
understand.
I know it sounds bad,
Mr.
but
Diaz,
it's a
that's,
life lesson.
Mr. Diaz, that is not what I want to. When I meet with your son, that's not the life lesson I wanna tell.
I understand, but,
Okay?
you know,
Because to
we
me,
all have learned this life lesson.
to me, it's not about, I know, I wanna make sure that what I do is right, that I'm not a, oh my God, catch me if you can mentality. I don't want that. Thank you.
All the
And I
kids-
don't wanna teach.
All the kids in
Well,
class do
that's
it.
too bad.
All the
I
kids
don't
in my
want-
class do it, you know, not
We
all,
should
I don't
concern-
wanna exaggerate, okay, but
We
many
should be
kids in my
concerned
class
with your
do that
son
on a
now.
daily basis.
You don't want your son to be doing that.
No,
Okay,
No.
that's all I want to, it's all about your son
Okay.
right now, okay? So his behavior has improved, that is amazing as well,
No, it
okay? It's amazing,
and what did he get caught, doing? As a mediator, and a person who's going into treading into dangerous area who's not allowed to discuss things, I would
That-
like you to be
I'm
the mediator
gonna
and
tell you what
ask
I
the
felt
teacher
that
the question.
that on that specific day he did, okay? And just tell me if I'm right or wrong from the little bit that I got. Apparently, his name is? Abdu apparently uttered some swear language,
let's
he
say
used
it like,
swear language,
let's say it like
where
this, it's
I
a swear word.
believe that you thought that it was directed to you. He states that it was directed to a student. I'm going to say what I told Dad, not knowing the situation. I
And Ms.
wasn't
Cornwall
present.
was the,
Okay.
the,
I wasn't-
the witness to all of this, yes.
What I said to
To be
Mr.
verified.
Diaz is that regardless of to whom he uttered these words, to me, it is wrong. Okay?
But
Whether-
what was
May I
other,
continue?
and what's he gonna say?
So whether it was uttered towards yourself, F something or other, okay? Do you have can you tell us what it is that he uttered?
What he said was, it was, I don't think he had meant to be heard by everyone, but there was a lull in the classroom when he said it, so it very much rose above the volume
volume.
of the rest of the class. Cause I was going shh, cause I was about to start the lesson, and he, I guess, had not heard me go
Say.
shh. And so everyone was sort of sitting down, and what he had said, I don't think he had intended it to be heard by me.
Okay,
We'll leave it as that.
okay.
But-
Okay.
It wasn't intended to be heard by him, but like you said, he got caught.
Okay, so
He got caught. And so,
it couldn't be directed to the teacher though, because it requires a picture. I'm gonna draw you the picture.
no, I don't want, no, Mr. Diaz, stop it.
It's an interesting
Mr.
picture.
Diaz, stop,
Yes,
okay?
yes.
It happened,
Mhm.
those words rose above the crowd,
Mhm.
okay? They infiltrated into the air, it got to her ears, it went to the ears of all the other students. The administration then reacted, as all administration would when there's swear words going on and, and this things happen. We, apparently then Abdu said that, well, it wasn't really directed to the teacher, it wasn't directed to a student, is when I came in and said, regardless of who it's directed to, he needs to reflect upon, and therefore a detention will be served, right?
But-
That's what I did.
But is it deserving of a suspension or letter or warning?
I'm going to say, I should have given him a suspension.
On a
okay.
first offense, it was a
Okay.
first offense.
But
He has no
because
detentions
I am
on record.
I'm not in this, that's why he only got a warning, he did not get the suspension.
So you're saying that
Okay.
a
He got
benign,
a warning.
a benign comment, a swear word to a friend is deserving of
It's not
a-
benign, no, please do not use that word in front of me. Whenever there's a swear word in the school premise, and I think that Ms. Peller knows me very well. One of the things that I did when I was principal at Marymount is I tried to obliterate all this type of swearing, okay?
Mhm.
And they started to understand, the students started to understand that.
You went by
we-
detention, you gave
we-
detentions on a first offense.
Of
You
course.
didn't start saying, okay, I'm gonna institute this new regime of discipline against swear words, and I'm gonna start by giving suspension or letters of warning,
I
suspension.
give warnings, I give.
As a first offense, you start by detentions, right?
Mr.
I'm trying to
first of
establish
all,
that
a
fact.
warning is less than a detention.
It's not less
No,
than
no,
a
I'm
detention.
sorry, with all due respect. You can have you have your own little world out there that you seem to think or know how to run a school, but you're not the one running the school. This lady is, all right?
Yes,
And therefore, and she's got a lot of experience doing so, all right?
absolutely.
So therefore, if she deems that a warning is what's going to be in her school, that is her prerogative.
She was
as a
actually
warning.
involved in the.
Okay, whatever. So, the warning was issued because there was an infraction. Okay, just like you said, you work with coaching, when there's an infraction, you either have a warning, you have whatever you do. I'm not good at coaching, so I don't coach soccer or
What
anything.
if we were to bring back the discussion to something more constructive, which is maybe you can tell Mr. Diaz what the assignment is that he owes, so that maybe you can contact.
Well, that
him.
we have determined that that's a big problem. I am not,
Well,
I'm
no,
not
because
there
we're
yet.
trying, oh, sorry.
Okay,
No,
I'm not there.
I don't need to know
Yeah.
which.
No, we need to know which assignment.
He needs to hand in
He needs to know.
all of his
Okay,
assignments.
but obviously, you
Just
see,
so that
we've been
Ms. Ward-
wasting so much time on this that we really are not concentrating now on what is truly important, and let's ensure that his academic, now his behavior is better, which that is commendable, and I would like to see him out. I hope to meet with him and tell him personally that I'm very proud that his behavior is better, and now he's able to concentrate on what he should be concentrating, which is schoolwork. So, what is it that he needs to hand in, Ms. Ward?
They had to design a dream house in Google SketchUp, which is a 3D modeling software. So they had to just design their own dream homes. It was due on April 19th, and now it's May 4th, so it's quite late.
He told me that he was behind, and good reason.
I missed the class, I think.
Yes, for the suspension, okay? Because during that day, March 12th, of letter of warning of suspension,
So all this, these 2 months that he hasn't handed in stuff is for one
there's
day?
a couple of related,
Really?
there's a couple of things, okay? That day, he missed the lab, so already he was behind from the get-go. And then he was also suspended or withheld from another one of your classes a week later or so, because I refused to sign the letter of warning of suspension. Okay,
He
that's-
wasn't suspended on that day. we asked the students to bring us their the letters that were signed. His was unsigned,
Yes.
and we were contacting
The
parents,
parents, he wasn't
Yourself?
suspended though.
as
No.
well as,
So
as
why
well as
you-
up-
He was
Abuse
withheld
letter.
from her class
As
on
well
the
as
second
abuse
occasion.
But if I may, even if he's away from a class, Mr. Diaz, even though he's away from a class, he's able to go to his tutorials
Exactly.
and pick up from there. So he
Exactly.
can see, he can meet with that teacher, how many times? do
Every
you-
day at 1 o'clock.
Every day at 1
Exactly.
o'clock.
And then there was another day where he missed the class for personal reasons, or I forgot, I mean, I forgot, but 3 labs in a row missed. It's a big chunk, it's a big
He
chunk.
then
I told
should
them.
go
I
to
told
the
them,
tutorial.
Go to all the
That's
tutorials
all.
to
Okay,
make
we've
up.
established
Okay,
that.
okay. But, you know, he was punished on 2 occasions. One, because of the letter of warning suspension, he was withheld from that class. And second, because I did not sign the letter, he was punished for another class. He was not able to, he was withheld from another class. Is that normal behavior? Like you would withhold a child from a class because his father refused to sign a letter of warning of suspension, which as far as I know is optional. It's not even required.
in fact, you know what the borough policy is here? Not for the letters. of
Can I
warning,
have the
but
answer
for-
from Miss Nancy? Can I have the answer from Miss Nancy?
Actually,
Why,
Can I
no,
have the answer from
because
Miss
it's
Nancy?
being
each school is different.
Yeah, we all have
No,
a
Well,
different code of
so-
behavior.
No, every
So-
single
so-
school, it's
so
the
as far as you're
internal rule,
concerned, that would be okay?
no. It's internal rules, whatever the principal decides and they agree with the governing boards, with the, teacher, staff councils. This is internal rules that function because every community is different. I cannot impose my rules and regulations the same on each community because each community is different. If I take, for example, in the West, that community is very different, the way the mentality, the cultures are so different. So they're different. She knows what serves best and meets the needs of her school way better than I do because I don't live here on a daily basis. However, we sit together, she tells me this is how my community is, this is what works for them, and another principal say, well, but this is how my community is, this is what works for us better, and as a matter of fact, when we meet once a month, they exchange these ideas, and sometimes they'll take some of the ideas from one of the principals and carry them over to there, that works to see, our goal is to ensure the kids do well,
So in
as
the
far
spirit-
academically,
Yeah.
and emotionally, and spiritually, okay? All of
In
that.
the spirit of that, do you
Yes.
think, just don't think, do you think it was correct? Please, please, I'm please,
I'm
going to
See, this is
intervene now.
why-
No,
this
no,
is
no,
why
you're
we
not
would
gonna,
have
no,
like
Mr.
seven
Diaz.
You're not here
Mr. Diaz, I just,
intervene
Mr. Diaz, I've already answered that
to
question.
GDG.
Sorry, I've already answered that question. I said each community is different. So whichever community, I'm going to behave according to that community. All right? So for me, it's not what's right or wrong, it's what's best at that moment, okay? What's best for the child at that moment, all right? And then, I said that there is a certain responsibility that the child has when they miss something due to their own misbehavior, that they then go to that teacher and say, I will be there for my tutorials because I missed because of this, that, or the other thing, whatever the reasons.
But it's trying to catch up.
It's
Now,
a responsibility, we have to put an onus on that child also.
It was 2 classes missed due to administration and 1 for personal reasons,
Whatever.
and he's still trying to catch up.
Oh, so,
But yes, yes,
Just for a
yes,
second.
yes.
I've requested in writing to him on his tracking multiple times, can you please attend tutorials? Actually, I really need to attend tutorials. I have asked him. Regardless of whatever else is going on, if your teacher asks you to attend tutorials, you should.
Yeah, absolutely.
and he does.
Not as
Well, he-
often as I request.
Very.
Okay, I think,
So we need to get him up
I
at
think
speed
he's going
there.
down a bit because I did tell him to go to all the stores. I'll remind him.
Okay, good, thank you. Okay.
Aside from
So-
walking the circle,
so we're good?
I asked him to,
Thank you.
he should come.
Ms. Ward, I think that,
If I
we're
can,
good. Yeah,
thank you very much.
very
It was a pleasure meeting
Well,
you.
I would like
That is fine.
to have an opinion of what happened on that day that deserved the
Well, we-
suspensions or letters of warning
She just
suspension.
finished saying, she's
On
said it
September
before.
12th, never a word about that day.
Wasn't that when we
I
were
know.
referring to?
I just explained that.
What happened on March 12th?
That was what she stated,
That
that
was
it
a
went
different
above, it went above the,
That was
isn't
a
that
different
March
day.
12th?
Yeah, that was
No.
exactly what I
Okay,
tried
That
to
was not on
explain.
March 12th. That was not
Yeah,
on March
thank
12th.
you, Ms. Ward. Thank you.
It was not on March 12th. That was a previous day.
Perhaps we can, would you like us, you want to send me the name of the assignment that needs to be handed in? Do you have a deadline for it, just in case for Mr. Davis to know?
It was April
What is-
19th,
But now, what is the new deadline for him?
so the absolute last day he can hand in work is May 30th.
Okay.
Okay.
Perhaps you can take note, because this is important. We would like to make sure that it's noted. that
And he has to
now-
go to his tutorials
Yes, and now you know, try to get him to go to
to
tutorial.
help,
You
so
can?
she could help, so Miss Ward can help him with this.
Okay,
assignment.
okay.
Okay, please.
What is it?
Thank
Yeah,
you.
go,
May 30th,
What's May 30th?
it was the
Did-
dream house, or dream home.
a dream home, it's
Okay.
due,
May 30th?
all right? And if he could please go to the tutorial so she could help him with this project. Okay, please, this is super important.
So she just left and you all blocked me from
No,
completing my question?
she gave everything on the 12th.
No,
She said it twice. She said that's
That's
what
right.
happened on the
the
12th.
swear word was not on the 12th. We have to establish correctness in facts. That was a previous day. So she left and you guys blocked me from completing my question?
I think that Miss Ward was very, she said this is what happened, that was her recollection of events.
Well,
I mean, I'm not there, and you were not there, right?
That
Is
was,
your son here?
yeah,
Is he here?
yeah. Well,
He's gone.
yeah,
He's
he's probably
not.
gone now.
Does he live with you or with mom?
His mother most of the time. So,
All right, I will meet with your son afterwards, and I
You
will
know-
sit with him.
you know, there's a big blockage. What
There's
happened
not.
that day?
Oh, come on, Mr.
You
Peters.
see, this is a blockage.
It's
This
enough,
is
it's not a
blockage.
blockage.
This
She
is a
said,
blockage.
I asked her specifically where this lady had, this woman was not ready to discuss anything, because Nora's
Okay.
not
see,
ready
there's
to
a
discuss.
blockage.
No, because it was done and dealt with.
There's still guilt, you know.
There is no guilt,
You think the
Mr.
child is guilty, he's not guilty. Okay? What he is,
What's he not guilty of? Tell me.
what's he accused of? He's accused of helping Miss Ward correct the projector, in that class. Ridiculous? That's a question, you know, fine.
I'd like to speak to your son. I want to speak to your son. I really, Mr.
You know, I was
Diaz, want
blocked
to
from
speak to-
answering questions. And
That's all she had to say, so I'm not going to,
it was railroaded, you know, yeah, that's what happened that day. It didn't happen, the swearing did not happen on that day. Okay, so, can I have a short written report by Ms. Ward of what happened on that day, March 12th? More blockage, we don't want to admit that.
Miss,
There's incredible
sorry.
resistance and blockage to that.
Miss.
You know, you're going around in a circle.
But he's not
And
guilty, he's not
At this
guilty.
point
Okay,
right now,
Mr.
you have
you know what?
your letter retracted. He served his
You want to
detention.
hear his
The
There's
child
no
is
guilt.
doing better. The most important thing right now is that he's
We're
doing
really
better.
not
He's
focusing
happy.
on what
Do
is
you
right.
really think
What
that your
is
child,
Because she stated a bit earlier that.
Not she, there's a name to this person.
Yes, Ms. Pella, I stated a bit earlier in this meeting that I didn't retract the letter, it was like another person, okay?
no, I said the office of the deputy director
Exactly.
general, which is Ms. Miniachi, retracted the letter and served him a detention instead, which he served very
Willingly,
happily.
because he
Gave
knew,
his
he
detention,
knew
and
he-
everything is
he had done
finished, the
something
child
wrong.
is doing
See.
well. Can't we just go with some positive sort of,
She should have said I retract the letter because I don't believe the child's guilty of suspension or letter of thereof.
He wasn't suspended, nor was he gonna get suspended.
A
That's the
warning,
part that-
even a warning
Mr. Diaz,
thereof.
Mr. Diaz,
She's
a
not able to
warning,
say that, you know,
Mr.
it was
a
retracted because
warning-
we don't
a
believe
warning
it's
is like,
valid.
I come to you and I say, you know, I see you doing something wrong, now I'm giving you a warning, please don't do it again. That's it.
A warning is the same level as a suspension.
No, it is
You
not.
get off because it's a first offense.
Well, isn't that beautiful that they feel, that they think this way? I mean,
Yes.
this is beautiful that they
Yes,
give children
except he's
chances.
not guilty of that either, of the first offense. And every time I try to establish it, I get blocked. You know, you want to discuss everything except
But what do you
that.
want, what do you want to hear? He wasn't guilty?
Yes.
It's not- Mr. Diaz, is that what's gonna make you happy?
Absolutely,
Okay,
absolutely.
there, but I want to speak to him first before I say he's not guilty.
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry.
Thank you.
Because I
And-
don't want to hear you, I don't want to hear it, I want to hear him.
Question him like, on tricks, like, what about this
No,
guy,
no,
you
no,
know?
I want to listen.
Go to
I
the
wanna
bottom
see
of it.
this young man.
Go to the
I
end
want
of the earth
to
with
meet
him.
with this young man.
You can't trick him because it's all,
It's not, to-
it's
I-
all open
Mr. Diaz,
and true and
Mr.
free
Diaz,
You know,
and,
Mr. Diaz,
and
Mr.
voluntary.
Diaz's version of the events
Yes.
versus the teacher's version of the events, you understand that?
No.
right? And then they.
No, it cannot be because there's 30 other people. Everything that I
every
say,
every other student saw what they saw.
yes, yes.
And it wasn't in the favor of your son.
No,
Okay.
there's not one child who will say that, yeah, Abdul, you were like yelling and disrupting class so the teacher couldn't teach. You know, not one child would say that. I know, because
Okay.
when he got to that warning,
Good for you.
people came to him and said, yeah, whatever, 10 George, whatever it was. He said, I got one too. And the reaction was like, what? You got one too? It was like that. It's emphatic, you know? And
Good.
I
I'm
said,
glad
what?
you have such a perfect son.
I'm just telling you, there's witnesses. Okay, it's not my child's word against.
We have a childcare worker, job technician, we have a teacher.
Can I just touch on that?
No,
Yeah, yeah.
no,
No.
no, because
What you're
you're
saying,
not
what
here
you're
to
saying.
interrogate us.
No, no,
I'm telling you, there were,
I thought
There were
other
many
people that were
that
involved.
witnessed. Many people.
The
Yes.
important thing is that your son is progressing,
He's
and that's what
progressing.
we're going to
This,
do right
to
now.
me, this incident that occurred, which I think it was almost like a rude awakening for him, okay?
He's not guilty.
But this incident that occurred, well, whatever little innocent thing happened that day, it triggered something and say, no, I cannot continue doing that, whatever it was. Whether it's whispering, whether it's saying whether it's
Well-
being a little rude, whatever it was, he's not perfect, we're not perfect, none of us
No,
are,
but-
Mr. Diaz.
But he's not guilty of the allegation as
Okay,
stated in
we're-
the warning, of letter of
I
suspension.
think that we're getting caught in all these technicalities. A letter of warning means simply, don't do it again. That's it.
No, but if he's viewed as guilty and we retract it just because an external party told us to,
No, because I saw the insignificance of all of this, and
Okay,
you're getting caught up
But-
with a letter of warning, which means absolutely just a warning.
as long as the statement says we retracted because
The
someone else
statement
told us,
is,
then the child is under threat. He's under threat of the
oh
next
my
time.
God, nobody's threatening
The next
him, he's
time-
doing
The
better.
next time he makes a crime, they're gonna say, yeah, look, he got this letter of
Oh,
warning
come on,
suspension.
Mr.
And
Diaz,
this time we're gonna suspend
Mr.
him.
Diaz,
We're gonna
Mr.
suspend him.
Diaz, I'm so sorry, but you know,
Because he's not guilty.
I thank you for being such a concerned parent, I really thank you, okay? But you're really taking it to the extreme. I'm sorry, Mr.
He's not
Diaz.
guilty. He's not guilty.
Very well. Mr. Diaz, please write down that he states his son is not guilty. Okay, that's it.
Yeah, just a
And that's
question, just a question.
I have to leave because I have another meeting with another
Just ask
parent.
one short question. There's 3 teachers or staff in his class, pretty heavy-handed. 2 of them I know, it's teacher, Ms. Ward. One is,
That's not your concern, it's the board
if
that was.
it's
the board-
secret information,
No, you cannot divulge that.
you can, if it's secret information, don't, you
Mr.
can, you
Diaz,
cannot, but let
please.
me ask my question.
I know what you're gonna ask, isn't
Okay.
it having handed, it means
No.
that this teacher, what is it
I'm not
you just
gonna-
said, having
I
handed?
just said that, I'm not gonna say it again. One is the teacher, Ms. Ward. 2 is the child care
The
worker.
worker.
Is that her official title?
He's
Child
a child
care worker? Is she under the,
It's on board.
is she under the payroll of the school board or?
Of course, the
or-
board.
Or is she an employee of the school?
No, it's the board.
It's you, okay,
We assign them to the schools.
okay. And there's a third person, I would like to know what her name is and what her position is, if it's not secret information.
Who is the
There's not a third person.
There's a third person in class.
Okay, good, that's happening, I'm not aware of that, if there's a third person.
Okay, who would be aware of that?
Who is
Is it, could it be another childcare worker? I'm not sure.
Because
I
it's,
have
I don't
to-
they switch, eh? And they're
No,
allowed to
no,
go
no,
into.
there's 3 people in the class at the same
I
time.
have to see, but regardless,
But,
what's the purpose of your question?
I would like to know.
We do have some schools that have 3, 4, even 5.
It's possible, but
Okay,
I'm not aware.
I
of
would
this
like to know
offense.
who that person is and, you know, what their role is, unless it's a secret information, like, you know, I'm willing to.
They are attached to certain students, so that's why I could not tell
Okay,
you
I'd like to know if they're
exactly.
attached to my student and what
Oh,
they're
not
doing
to yours
my
at all,
student,
no.
my child. That's what I
You
want to
would know if it was attached to yours, that's why I cannot tell you.
I wouldn't know.
No, Mr. Diaz.
How-
If you had a childcare worker, if we had a childcare worker
That's fine.
that was assigned to your son, you would know because it would be in the IEP. it
The
would be
child care
everywhere.
worker is fine, but
Yeah.
who's the third person?
It could be another childcare worker that happened to be there.
I I don't know, I mean, unless it's secret
Mr.
information,
Diaz,
I would like to
Mr.
know.
Diaz,
I would like to know.
Mr. Diaz, I'm answering you that I have no clue what
Okay,
you're talking
can you
about.
send me an email,
Okay.
just a short email, you know,
I
to
don't
say,
think so,
this is
because I've
the
been advised
person.
by the police to not have any communication with
Okay,
you.
so police,
Diaz.
the police,
Most likely it's another
false
childcare
declarations to
worker,
police.
most likely, but I'm not sure, she would have to look into it, who was in Miss Ward's class.
Can we get like a confirmation?
Mr. Diaz, I'll let you know if
Okay,
there's a
okay.
third person in there. If
Okay,
it's a third childcare worker, I will
Okay.
let you know.
not all of them every day, but it has.
Mr. Diaz,
but-
we have them in every school, and sometimes you'll have 4 in a classroom
Okay.
for a long period of time.
Yes.
Sometimes 5 for a long period of time.
Yes,
It could
but
be
I
a
don't know.
technician,
I
it could
don't
be,
know.
yes, we have that, of course, we send them from the board
Okay.
to support the students.
You could even be an IT person for that matter. You
Yeah,
could even be.
that's
No,
right.
no, it's not an IT person, it's a person who's just sitting there and checking things. It's just, if it's not secret, I would just like to know what your
Not a
role is.
problem,
Thank
there's
you.
nothing to
Thank you.
hide. We're very proud of the resources we give to our schools, very proud.
Okay.
So if there's 3, congratulations,
Yes.
Ms. Bella.
So, I believe that my child is being bullied by the administration, namely Ms. Nicholas, and tacitly by Ms. Pella, just as a distant supporter of Ms. Nicholas. So, since Ms. Nicholas is bullying my child, and I'm going to give you a short description of why. Since Ms. Nicholas is bullying my child, I would request that she not meet with him alone. And this is not retaliation because it sounds eerily similar to what's being,
I wish Ms. Nicholas were here, I didn't know you were
yeah,
going to speak
she's,
about Ms.
yeah,
Nicholas.
she's the main person. It sounds eerily similar to the claims that you're making against me, like we don't want you to meet alone with. It's not, okay? I know it sounds similar, but I don't want Ms. Nicholas to meet.
Mr. Mauro Zampini is assigned to your son.
Okay, I would like that she never.
Well, you don't
meet-
need to tell me.
Mr. Zampini
Is already assigned
He
to
was
your
should have
son.
been here today anyways.
Okay,
Mr. Zampini would meet with him for any
That's
administrative purpose,
that's correct.
and Ms. Pella also.
That's correct.
I would enjoy that the situation be that Ms. Pella does not meet with my child
She's the
alone.
principal of the school.
Okay, this is a request. If it has to be done, I would like to be called. Voicemail is fine, you don't have to contact
Well,
me.
Mrs. Zampini and herself will be present, there'll be always 2 people with your son. I will not have anybody meet with your son alone.
Thank you, and I would like to be advised, like we're gonna meet with him today at 10 o'clock, or,
Oh, you're really restricting us, sir.
No, it doesn't work that way.
I would
And
like,
we're really
I would
restricting
like,
us.
I would like a phone call, we're gonna be meeting with him at 10 o'clock
Oh, no,
today.
no.
A voicemail if
No, no,
necessary.
no.
is
If there's major concern, for sure you'll be called. But if they're
Major
meeting just to
or
say,
minor?
my dear, you haven't handed in your stuff, please hand it in, and we have to call you on everything.
Because-
My God, if we had that request, she wouldn't have enough time in the day to do all that.
Yeah, but most parents don't complain about bullying. Right now, he's been traumatized. He says, I do not ever want to talk to
What
Miss
grade is he in?
Sec 3. Miss
So
Nicholas.
it's gonna be a long 2 years, maybe you should change schools.
Yeah, no, I knew,
It's gonna be a long 2 years.
I knew, I
My
knew,
goodness,
I
how
knew.
are you gonna do that, Mrs. Diaz?
I knew you would say that. And I was thinking, what are they gonna say when I say that?
I'm just saying that this doesn't sound good.
They're gonna say, let's change schools. And so,
Well, I'm not forcing you to change schools, I'm just saying,
yeah, I
are you
understand,
sure that
but
you're?
I knew it would happen. So
Well,
anyways.
of course I'm gonna say that to you if you're not satisfied with
My
your
answer,
school.
my answer to that, and I thought
You're
about
not
this.
satisfied.
My answer to that, and I have thought about this, is that as a divorced parent,
You can't take that decision on by yourself, first of all, you have to meet, both your ex and yourself have to agree that the child switches schools to be.
no, that's not what I'm gonna do. But as a divorced parent, I welcome this extra. It's an extra opportunity to have regular and constant communication with my child every single day of the year. Now, it's since then, it's been every single day. I say, have they talked to you again? Have they said anything? Have they done this? Has, Miss Nicholas come to the class? She's been coming to the
Well,
class.
she's allowed to go to the
But she
class,
stopped,
has
she
to
stopped,
go.
it's been about a week to 10 days. So I'm in constant communication with them, and it's a welcome opportunity, any excuse to have this extra contact with my child. So it's not a tiresome or difficult exercise. And as long as I'm doing it, I think he's okay staying in school. But I have to do that. I have to do that. So we're not changing schools. It's actually a welcome change of events. So I would just like that you not meet with him. He's traumatized. That you not meet with him
I'd like to
alone.
speak to him.
Okay. And Miss Nicholas also.
No, he will never meet with anybody alone.
Okay. Even
Because I want to make
even those
sure.
two people together, because when they
No,
met,
no, no.
they met with him
No,
on one
Mr.
occasion.
Mauro is in charge of your son,
Mhm.
but I don't want even Mr. Mauro to meet with him alone. Because
Yes,
I'll tell you why.
and then the
I'm
second
worried,
person.
I'm worried, no, listen to me. I'm worried that now I don't know what will be told to you. If Mr. Zampini is going to be determined as, or he's bullying me also, I won't have an administrator to meet with him.
Okay, and
His mom is also very available. She told us she's willing to come at any time we need. So if necessary, we always have a parent who's willing to come as well. So it's not a problem.
you see, so, during that meeting with his mother, they told my child to just accept it and get over it. Okay, that it was repeated to him, like, just accept it and get over it. And he said, I'm not gonna accept it, because he's not guilty. It keeps coming back to that.
Except what?
Accept the letter of warning
The
suspension.
letter of warning,
Yeah.
we're still back to that letter of
Yeah,
warning.
He was
I-
told to accept it and get over it. And finally,
Can we stop this now?
no, but this was like pressure and bullying on my child, and he said, I needed to get out of that
Nobody-
meeting
nobody-
as soon as possible.
Nobody's bullying your child,
And-
everybody loves kids at this school, trust me,
So,
okay?
okay, these,
Yeah, like you said, he was caught and he doesn't like being caught. You said that. I'm
he got
repeating
caught
your
on a
words.
minor offense, on a first offense, it's not
So it's
related.
wrong, so he's not guilty.
Yes.
You're saying he's not guilty, he is guilty.
And it was 2 months before the event.
Yeah.
It was 2 months, you don't care that it was 2
No,
months
no,
before.
it's-
You know,
it's a-
how do you tie that in, you
What
know?
do you mean, how do you tie in? He
What
did
happened
other
on March
things.
12th,
He
you
did
know?
other things on March 12th. He apparently speaks out loud, he's a little bit of a,
No,
well, now the
No.
teacher said he's much better and he's able to focus. Before that, he was
Whispering,
always
whispering. No.
whispering, sir,
Yes.
okay? As, I don't know if you know, but we can't.
I got it in writing. This,
I
the
can't-
allegations are
We
whispering.
cannot
Come to
multitask.
court,
If
don't be
I'm
swearing.
talking
I
to
wanna
her, if I'm whispering with her, I cannot listen to what the teacher is saying. This is why he wasn't doing well.
Okay, 12 people were issued letters of warning or
Good.
suspension on that.
Good.
Is that a record? I just want to get.
I don't know, I mean, sometimes you may have a whole class being issued a
Have you ever
letter.
seen that? I mean,
Of course we have.
I've gone
If
through
the
the
whole
system
class is
myself, I've never seen
unruly,
that. I've never seen
And I also would like to mention that I would say 11 out of the 12 called us and spoke to the administration and said,
We're
we will
sorry.
be working with our children to make sure that.
Yeah.
And
The
the
parents
teacher
all
has
said they
had
would be
at
working.
They're
least
guilty,
one.
they're guilty.
There are 32 kids in the class.
Okay, your son is
everybody's
perfect and he's
computer.
not.
He's not perfect,
Okay.
he's not guilty of that day, on that
Okay,
day.
so
I am
Mr.
going
Vigas,
to-
enough, because
You know, like,
it's
if he's
enough.
not guilty, he's not guilty.
I think we've made, we've brought Ms. Ward here, she stated that he's doing better.
So-
That was a turning point for your son, that incident that occurred, which was a positive, it turned into a positive, which that's what you should be grateful for.
Well, it's
Okay.
me just
But
telling
there's
him
still this that needs to be addressed.
to cooperate. I told him, based on that, we want to get it
He needs to
retracted, it's not gonna be
cooperate.
easy. Okay,
It's retracted already, sir.
And for the
and-
record, we will, when we meet with Abdul, Mr. Zampini, and I will be present together, and if necessary, we will contact his
If it's-
mom,
if
who's
it's-
very available,
yeah.
or you, if you would like to sit in on a meeting, but we are permitted to meet with him if necessary. We probably will not
Whether it's for
be,
schedules
we will
or
not have
for
to,
exams and.
okay, first of all, I would like to be notified, even if it's a voicemail, not his mother. I mean, you can call his mother, but I need to be notified if Miss.
We won't, there won't be any need to meet with the child unless it's for schedules, it's for exams, it's for, and unless he was an unruly child that, and we would call you immediately.
Exactly. Those are the most important things, and I just want to be advised that the meeting's going to take
If the
place.
child has done something wrong, you will be advised, trust me.
Okay, like before the meeting, okay?
Yes. Trust me.
And I would like, I guess, Mr. Zampini to be there, but I would like also for, like Miss Falla and Miss Nicholas cannot be together.
You said that before I understood that, and I believe my secretary
No,
wrote that down.
as people in the meeting, maybe, you know, Miss Falla needs to be
Miss
there.
Falla will
Or
be there
Ms.
because I
Nicholas
said
needs to
so. She's my
Yeah,
representative.
one of them, but I don't want both of them with Mr. Zanti in the same room against my child.
You're
Okay.
not gonna tell us what to do.
This is my
with
request.
us. Thank you.
It could
Thank
be,
you for the
it could be
request.
ignored or not,
Okay, thank you
but
for
this
the
is my
request.
request. And just to
We
complete,
don't have 3 people sitting with 1 child. I mean, this is not unheard of. There's plenty of other things to do, all
2 of
right?
them already was
All right,
right for,
okay.
you know, I
The
thought,
reason why,
You know?
And his mom.
yes, 2,
the
And his
reason,
mom.
the
well, talk about
reason,
administrative staff,
the
And
reason
his
why,
mother.
yes, and his mother,
the reason why
2
2
staff,
staff is fine.
you know,
When
already that's heavy-handed, you know?
With his mother.
With his
Yeah, with his mother.
principal, and the vice principal always, I always went with my principal and vice
I
principal.
know, I don't care who the third person is, I just don't want, Mr. Zanti to be present with Miss Falla and Miss Nicholas together in the
I
same
heard
room
that, we
with my child.
wrote it down.
Okay, yeah,
Thank you.
so.
It's done, Ms. Peter. It's okay. I think it's over the time,
And
another meeting.
I have to complete my statement of bullying. There was an event in December, where my child was given a detention for his name being Abdul, as far as I know. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's true. And Miss Nicholas received an email from the teacher involved, Mrs. Maselli, and she was satisfied with the justification in that email. And based on that, went to see my child at the end of the day and said, you have a detention because she didn't understand your name or her attitude was bad. So, you know, it's a ridiculous detention. Ms. Nicholas went on to say that she was responsible for removing the detention, which is a mistruth, because it was removed by the student supervisor.
Understand me.
no.
Student
Sure,
supervisors
can
do
never-
not remove detentions.
By the way, in any school.
He did.
In any school, not done, and if he does it, there would be a reprimand.
This is a
Well, there
gentleman
was
that
no
he
reprimand.
then recorded as well.
Okay?
Unfortunately, called him on his cell
Okay.
phone, found his cell phone,
Okay, but
called
it's
him
wrong.
and recorded his
If
conversation.
he said that, it was a big
No,
mistake.
I didn't record this conversation. I called him because my child is a player on the basketball team.
Mhm.
This is a very famous basketball player, like in his
She's
youth.
aware of Mr.
Oh,
Ryan.
Oh, okay,
Mr.
okay,
Yes.
okay. So my child had his cell phone number, so I called him and I said, did you remove the detention? He said, yes. And I was surprised, like you. I said, how is it that you removed the suspension? You know, it's a principal level thing,
I
or
think-
vice principal.
Okay, but I think that
And he
there was
said-
a misunderstanding.
He said, I'm responsible for that. I went and I did it, and I didn't
He
get a
probably requested it, that's fine.
No, he did not request it.
The
I didn't talk to
administration
anybody.
decides who gets a detention.
Okay.
He gives out the
I-
papers and he retracts the
Sorry.
papers.
But
That's
this
it.
is what we do.
This is bullying, because if she said that
Okay.
this detention
Okay.
was valid, and I removed it, and this is an untruth,
Okay,
it's
it's
reckless
over.
behavior,
Mr.
and it's
Mr.
bullying.
Diaz, enough. I take care of them. They are my employees, not yours. So
Okay,
it's
you're
enough.
blocking me on a bullying
No,
charge right now.
Bullying charge, I took everything down. All
Yeah,
your
but
requests.
you're telling me not to complete the story.
No, you told this to me over the phone.
Okay,
Okay,
All
so I
right.
know all that over
okay,
the
so you
phone.
know it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
And-
so
and
it's
you-
all recorded in my
And do
mind.
you think it's a valid
Mr. Diaz,
activity
I
to
will
give
not,
that detention
I will
and claim
not,
removed by
Mr.
her?
Mr. Diaz,
Yes.
enough. That, I will discuss that with my employees, not with you present, all right?
Okay.
With my own employees, all right?
Because every time I touch on the
Mr.
faults
Diaz,
committed and that are disturbing
no,
me,
no.
I'm blocked.
no, no,
And nothing else
because you are
disturbs me.
not,
Nothing else really disturbs me.
No.
There's these things that disturb me, and
Mr.
when I go
Diaz,
there,
all that
I think
is-
I'm right because I keep getting blocked. You know.
I'm not here,
You can
I'm
discuss
not,
that. So many other
I'm
things
not
that
here
don't really disturb
today
me.
because I did not listen, I'm here because I'm listening. But what I discuss with my employees, that is none of your concern, that is between myself and them. If I don't have to share with you, this is strictly confidential, anything dealing with employees. Now, I wanna state one more thing, in case you.
For the
forget,
record, for the record,
uh,
as you pointed, yes.
I want to say one more thing. The minutes, these are not minutes, these are salient points, and I made it very clear that I do not, when I meet with parents, we only discuss the salient points. We can't take every word down, that if you search for every single word, that won't happen,
Okay.
okay? It won't happen.
Give me-
Salient
Give me
points.
30 seconds more. I
Salient
know
points.
this fella's standing up and ready to leave, but
But
give
I
me 30
have
seconds.
another meeting, by the way, sir.
30
Okay.
seconds, 30 seconds. The concern is not that the minutes don't write every single detail that was discussed. the concern is that the minutes as taken were deleted in part in the typing of them and sent,
And that is a false
Salient
accusation
points,
and a defamation of
salient points
character.
only.
okay, can I get a copy of the original?
You have a copy.
Of the
That was
original
it.
handwritten?
That's it.
Can I
No,
get
you
it?
got it.
Can I get a copy of the original?
No,
You
no,
received
you
the
can
No.
send it, I'm not gonna give you a copy of that.
Why not?
We're gonna put it in, no, we type it and then that's it,
Why
that's
not?
what it is.
Can I get a photocopy of this right
You
now?
absolutely
before I
cannot.
No, absolutely not,
leave? Okay,
because
on what grounds?
because you will get the salient points emailed to you, period.
Okay, well, why can't I get the full notes as they're right in front of me right now? Like
Because these are
photocopy?
her personal notes. She has to verify them, she has to make sure that they make sense, because we go fast.
Okay, I won't use them as an
You
official
know,
copy.
no,
I will
no,
print them
we
if
will,
there's
we
things
will
that
send
are
it to you.
transferred in record.
Sure, you were
See,
here.
these are the faults that
You were
concern
here
me,
today.
that really disturb
were
me, and I
here
won't
today.
brought on these points.
Mr. Diaz, you were here today. You know what you said, you know what I said, that's it, that's all.
Okay, but she just said, I'm
That's it,
doing
that's all.
defamation of character because I'm accusing her of falsifying the original minutes. And she says, well, I'm not gonna give you the original
Well, when
to see
we
if
go
that's
in a
true.
court of law,
Yes.
when we go in a court of law, we'll give the.
Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
all right, well, I'll meet you there.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Diaz, thank you. Thank you, have a great day.
Okay, thank you.